The armed wing of the PIJ, they declared today that they launched missiles on multiple parts of Israel. Saraya al-Quds. And they dedicated the missile operation to the Yemeni people. And they targeted Ashdod and Ashkelon, or Sdud and Asqalan, two areas that are relatively far from Gaza. I'm talking about 15 to approximately 30 kilometers. So these are not like short range relatively to the Palestinian resistance and their capabilities. These are medium range. So the next step is the central part of the genocide state, closer to the Tel Aviv area. Israel said they intercepted one or two of them. But, well, the Palestinian resistance is showing clearly that it can target you. Not only inside of the Gaza, but inside of Israel. What's called Israel, occupied Palestine. Now, if you think this is just another, bit of... No, it's not just another bit of news. This is exceptionally symbolic. Gaza Strip. You've seen Gaza. It's leveled, as in it's flat, with many bodies missing, tens of thousands of bodies missing, over 50,000 martyrs at least, and massacres happening every day. The Palestinian resistance emerges time after time to target these people, not only inside of the Gaza Strip, but also in their heart. And the meanings, by the way, before you tell me about damage and no damage, oh, what damage are they doing? They're not letting. The psychological damage. They can sugarcoat it as much as they want, and call it just drips of attacks from Gaza and what have you. They are capable of destroying your sense of security. You went on this operation to say that we want to secure Israel. We want to make sure Gaza doesn't pose a threat again. We want to eliminate the Hamas. This is what you're getting 1.5 years later. You're getting people who are popping up from the ground wherever they see your child murdering forces in Gaza and destroying them and targeting the heart of Israel. What is that message sending to the Israeli person? What is that message sending to the whole state? We're not secure here. It's simply not for us. Let's pack our bags and get the hell out of here. And the sooner, the merrier. And guess what? Millions already are. And Netanyahu sugarcoat, try and convince people, oh yes, we're doing this and we're going to continue the operation up until we eliminate. Your soul will leave your body before you even touch the Palestinian resistance. Benjamin Netanyahu's soul will be rotting and burning in hell before they defeat the Palestinian resistance. It isn't going to happen. They still have capabilities. And by the way, they're taking their time, as in, these attacks over the ground, many of them, they're monitoring them, they're seeing people going out, launching whatever they can, targeting them time after time. You're talking about an unbeatable resistance. And all of the talk of Benjamin Netanyahu is just garbage. He's trying to sell a facade to the people to try and keep himself in power. But it isn't happening. And of course it isn't just Gaza, it's also Yemen. Yemen carried out 3 attacks in 24 hours. 3 attacks in 24 hours against strategic locations inside of the state of Israel. Halting air traffic at Ben Gurion Airport, targeting the occupied Jaffa area, hypersonic ballistic missiles, the lead port, and another strategic location. One of the missiles was called the Al-Faqar missile, and another one was another hypersonic missile that they did not disclose the name of. Again, when were they carrying out the attack? On top of the head of the Arabs sitting with Donald Trump and giving him billions while he was milking them. without them doing a thing to stop seriously. Don't tell me about talking about something significant to stop the genocide inside of the Gaza Strip. Yemen, fiercely, time after time, and Israel doesn't have an answer. They're conducting attacks in Yemen, exercising theatrics in Yemen, targeting places that burn for a very long time, oil fields, Sana'a airport, and then, a cement building. Because there's a lot of ashes and smoke coming out. So they can show that we're here and we're targeting them. Is that stopping the attacks against you? No. Is your genocide campaign in Gaza with levels of TNT landing on Gaza 5 times greater than what landed in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, more than World War II and one combined? And let's not even get started with statistics about what these murderers do. You're not touching Yemen too. Yemen are still able to make you stand on one foot and go in your bunkers and hide like rats in fear and panic. I mean, when Iran attacked Israel, it was like a bigger thing. Netanyahu was shaking at that time. But now, don't forget that these are very effective. And Israel has no answer. And guess what? No US cover too. Why? Because Ansarullah in Yemen were very effective in attacking the terrorist US forces, aka the genocide cartel, and expelling them from the region, therefore detaching them from Benjamin Netanyahu. Because America said, okay, that's enough. There's so much I'm willing to kind of sacrifice for the sake of Benjamin Netanyahu. If it weren't for the Yemeni attacks against the aircraft carriers of the United States would have carried on, by the way. And it's very important to contextualize all of that. It's not just some sort of a deal that came between the United States. No. The United States has been talking with them for a very long time because they preferred to kind of force them but through scaring them, right? Up until it reached the stage where Donald Trump himself said, yeah, these people are actually brave. We hit them really hard, but and then I trust their word and whatever. He's saying, I trust their word, and they say, we don't trust his word. We're going to keep monitoring him. By the way, don't think the Yemenis, no. They have their eyes on them. They have their eyes on them very well. Iran too, they're sending them footage. Just in case, just in case you're trying to play around. We know what to do. Yemen is prepared. And they told Trump, if you come and attack us based on any pretext, under any pretext, we have you on target in the Red Sea. Any of your aircraft carriers will be burning. Don't forget, of course, the damage against the aircraft carriers of the United States. That's something very significant too. Now, is that making an impact in Israel? Of course it's making an impact in Israel, but what they've been doing for the past year and a half is pretending like things are normal. Acting. Like they acted and, came up with this pseudo-state, pseudo-nationality, fake history, fake everything. They're acting now and pretending this to be fun, but things are not really fine for them. As a matter of fact, more and more airlines are, that's it, suspending flights, extending the suspensions. We spoke about many international airlines cutting all of the trips, getting rid of their slots in Ben Gurion Airport, slots that are hard to kind of secure, by the way. Don't forget that. Slots in airports is something important. And they're pretending, like, yeah, we're intercepting the iron foam and David's thing and whatever they call them. Not effective. Clearly not effective against the Yemeni missiles. Now, Lots of talk about this American-Israeli terrorist, Aidan Alexander, who went from America to Israel to participate in a genocidal army and was imprisoned by the Palestinian resistance. And don't no one dare say hostage, please. Okay, he was imprisoned as a terrorist in a terrorist army by a totally legitimate Palestinian resistance. He was released, and many people are talking about him, and he is humiliating Netanyahu. Not now, Prime Minister, I'm not available to meet you. He is sending thanks to Donald Trump, reports that he's going to go to Qatar as well. And many people are talking about Aidan Alexander. Not many are showing sympathy, by the way. You know, this initial fake sympathy and force-fed sympathy, hostages 24/7. Now it's even that's dead too. But there was some surprising reports coming in the past few days. Guess what? About Israel trying to kill him because the United States wanted to release him with a direct agreement with Hamas. Occupation attempted to assassinate Aidan Alexander to sabotage the negotiations. And guess what? The Palestinian resistance, we spoke about that a month ago approximately. They said that Aidan Alexander, we don't know what's the fate of Aidan Alexander. We lost communication with him. Why? Because Israel targeted a location where they believed that Aidan Alexander was, and they were actively trying to get information about him from people, trying to bribe people, you know, make them work with them. Where is Aidan Alexander? Where, you know, we think they might be. And from the Israeli move, it wasn't as an intention to go and carry out a rescue operation. It was an attempt to find his location so they can carry out a strike. So they received something that was similar or an idea of where his whereabouts were, and they targeted the location. He didn't die. He wasn't killed in that strike. And the Palestinian resistance managed to get a deal. But that shows you the length that this genocidal satanic death cult is willing to go to sabotage any deal between the Palestinian resistance and the United States administration. Because they don't want deals, they want chaos. They were built on chaos, and now they've reached the pinnacle of their state of drunkenness. It's like they're drunk. They're on a massive power supremacist trip. We can kill anyone we want. We have the power to butcher children and no one can say anything. Massive craze. And they're killing their own and trying to kill the last one of them. Have they killed other prisoners of war? Of course, a third. Like they massacred their own people on the 7th of October and came up with the propaganda garbage that your fake reporters and so-called journalists were spreading left, right, and center. That even the President Biden himself at the time had to take back. Beheaded babies, you lying hypocrites. And you know, they had the Ziowood tour, you know, of the areas surrounding Gaza. Oh, come and see what they did. And they started to put cots with like a bullet inside or like an oven. Oh, and then they put babies in an oven. I mean, if you wanted to lie, at least come up with something that, you know, someone, you know, might be able to believe. But because they've been operating in the dark for such a long time, Zionism thrives in the dark. They've been exposed all at once. All of their garbage is up to the surface. Even with them trying to kill their own prisoner of war. Why? To sabotage a deal to release him, coming from the United States of America, just because they spoke directly with Hamas in spite of Benjamin Netanyahu.